Good day, guys. This is Mr. Prince Maths and Science class, and in this video I'm going to be talking about trigonometry. I'm just going to be doing like the basic trigonometry, and I'm going to be solving some word problems on trigonometry. So in trigonometry there's a term that is called SOHCAHTOA. SOHCAHTOA. Okay. And the S stand for sine, this stand for cos, and this stand for tan. Okay, so in trigonometry, sine theta is equals to opposite over hypotenuse. Okay, and cos theta is adjacent over hypotenuse. And then we have tan theta to be opposite over adjacent. Okay, so for example, I have an example under the side facing the right angle, that's the angle 90 degrees, is the hypotenuse. That's always the longest side in a right angle triangle. This is the hypotenuse. Okay, and the angle, the side facing opposite of this angle, like this here, 40 degrees, we have 40 degrees here. X here is the opposite. Okay, and the last side is the adjacent. So in this case, we are given a right angle triangle that has a 40 degree. We are given the hypotenuse to be 15, and we are asked to find the opposite, which is x. So in this case, since we are given hypotenuse and we are asked to find the opposite, the trigonometric term that fits this is sine theta. So that will be sine 40 degrees is equals to the opposite is x and over 15. Okay, so when we cross multiply, that will be x is equals to 15 sine 40 degrees. Okay, so now let's punch 15 sine 40. 15 sine 40 will give us 9.64. So we can say that the opposite side is 9.64. X is equals to 9.64. We have another one here. So this one is, in this place we are given the hypotenuse to be x. We are not given the opposite side, but we are given the adjacent. Okay, and we are given the angles to be 25 degrees. So we are given the adjacent, and we are asked to find the opposite. And the trigonometric term that connects these two is cos theta. So we do cos 25 degrees is equals to, the adjacent is 9, hypotenuse is x. Okay, so let's cross multiply. So x will be equals to 9 cos 25. Okay, so if we do x equals to 9 cos 25, we should get 9 cos 25 will give us 8.2. 8.2. Okay, so the next one says, the next one we are asked to find the angle. Okay, so we are given the hypotenuse to be 10, and we are given the opposite to be 6. Okay, so we are going to, the theta is going to be sine theta. So we have to find theta. So that sine theta is equals to, opposite is 6, hypotenuse is 10. So that's 6 divided by 10. 6 divided by 10 will give us 0.6. So now we write it as theta is equals to arc sine 0.6. So we are going to be finding the arc sine of 0.6. So for those students who are not familiar with finding the arc sine or like trigonometry, finding the arc sine of terms like this, when you want to find the arc sine of 0.6, you press on your calculator, you press shift and then sine, and then you put 0.6. So in that case you get theta should be equals to 36.9 degrees. Okay, so that's theta. So approximately, theta is approximately 37 degrees. Okay, so in the next one we have two sides given. We are given the hypotenuse and we are given the adjacent. So in this case we are going to find cos theta. Okay, so we're going to find theta. So cos theta is equals to the adjacent is 8, the hypotenuse is 17. So if we do 8 divided by 17, 8 divided by 17 will give us 0.4706. 0.4706. So now let's find the arc cos of 0.4706. Theta is equals to arc cos 0.4706. So now let's find it. So that should be 61.9 degrees. So that's approximately 62 degrees. Okay. So now in this case, we are given the hypotenuse. We are given the opposite and the adjacent. So that's tan. Tan theta is the one that connects these two. So that will be do tan theta is equals to the opposite is 5 and the adjacent is 12. Okay. So 5 divided by 12 will give us 0.4167. So that will be tan theta is equals to 0.4167. Okay, so we can do theta is equals to arc tan 0.4167. So we get 22.6 degree. So that's approximately 23 degrees. Okay, so that's it for that question. So now we're going to do some word problems on trigonometry. So we're going to do some word problems on trigonometry. So the first question says, a doctor is using a treadmill to assess the strength of a patient's heart. He sets the 48-inch long treadmill at an incline of 10 degrees. How high is the end of the treadmill raised? Okay. So we know that a treadmill is in a slopey fashion, right? So let's draw the treadmill like this. So this is the treadmill, okay? And you know, at the bottom of the treadmill, there's always like a little. The height is not that long. It's just like a short distance from the top of the treadmill to like to the ground. So this is this side. So it says the 48-inch long treadmill. So this is how long the treadmill is, 48 inches. Okay. At an incline of 10 degrees. So now the angle of the incline of the treadmill to the ground is 10 degrees. So this is the ground here. This side is the ground. Okay. So this side is 10 degrees. Okay. So this is the angle of the treadmill to the ground. And now it says how high is the end of the treadmill raised. So we are going to find this side, which is the height. Okay, h. So in this case now we are given the hypotenuse, because this side is the hypotenuse, and then we have to find the opposite side. So in this case we are going to use sine. So that will be sine 10 degrees is equals to h over 48. Okay, so now that will be h is equals to 48 sine 10 degrees. Okay, 48 sine 10 degrees. So if we do sine 10, okay, sine 10 is 0.1736. So that's 48 times 0.1736. Okay, so the height of the end of the treadmill raised, the height is 8.3. So that will be 8.3 inch. Okay. So that's it for that question. So the next question says, find the angle of elevation of the sun when a 12.5 meter tall telephone pole casts an 18 meter long shadow. So this question is talking about angle of elevation. So before I go further, I'm going to be talking about angle of elevation and angle of depression. So now this is the angle of elevation. So now let's say that this is the line of sight. Okay, this is the horizontal line of sight. This is the angle of elevation. Okay, because an angle of elevation is the angle formed when you look upward from a horizontal line to an object above you, and this one down is the angle of depression. Okay, because angle of depression is the angle formed when you look downward from your horizontal line to an object below you, and this one is the line of sight. This is the line of sight. Okay, so in this case we are asked to find the angle of elevation. So now let's assume that this is the sun here. Okay, this is the sun, and it says find the angle of elevation when a 12.5 tall telephone casts an 18-meter long shadow. So this is the angle of elevation. This side, this is where the angle will be. Okay, so it says a 12.5 meter tall telephone. So let's say that this is the telephone here. Okay, this is the telephone here. It says it casts a shadow, 18-meter long shadow. When it's casting a shadow, it's going to cast it on the ground. So this side here is the ground. This is where the shadow will be. Okay, this is where the shadow will be, and it says the length of the shadow is 18 meters, right? And this is the angle we are looking for, the angle of elevation. And it says that the telephone is 12.5 meters tall. Okay, so in this case, if we are finding the angle of elevation, now we are given the opposite side and we are given the adjacent side. So in this case, we are going to use tan theta. Okay, so that will be tan theta is equals to 12.5 divided by 18. Okay, so 12.5 divided by 18, that will be theta is equals to arc tan. 12.5 divided by 18 will give us 0.6944. Okay, so in this case, if we are to find the arc tan of 0.6944, we should get 34.8 degrees. Okay, 34.8 degrees. So that's it for that question. So now the next question says a ladder leans against a wall and the ladder is 10 meters long and it makes an angle of 65 degrees with the ground. So now let's say that this is the wall right here. Okay, this is the wall and the ladder is leaning on the wall like this. Okay, this is the ladder leaning on the wall, and this is the angle that it will form. This is the angle that the ladder will form to the ground. Okay, so the ladder leans against the wall. The ladder is 10 meters long, so this is the length of the ladder here, 10 meters long, and it makes an angle of 65 degrees with the ground. This is the angle it makes with the ground, 65 degrees. Okay, it says how high up the ladder how high up the wall does the ladder reach? So we are looking for this height. Okay, so now in this case we are given the hypotenuse, we are asked to find the opposite side. Okay, so and the term that connects it is sine. So we have it as sine 65 degrees is equals to h over 10. Okay, so when we cross multiply, so that will be h is equals to 10 sine 65 degrees. Okay, so let me point that in the calculator. H is equal to 10 sine 65. So that will give us the height of 9.06 meters. Okay, so that's about 9 meters. So that's how high up the ladder that's how high up the wall the ladder reach. So the next question says, after flying at an altitude of 500 meters, an helicopter starts to descend when its ground distance from the landing pad is 11 kilometers. It says, what is the angle of depression for this part of the flight? So in this case, we have to find the angle of depression. So now let's draw the helicopter. So don't mind my drawing, my helicopter might look a little funny. So it says you're flying at an altitude of 500 meters. So this is the altitude to the ground level. This is the ground level. Okay, so this is the height. It's 500 meters. Okay, and it says it starts to descend when its ground distance from the landing pad is 11 kilometers. Now let's say that this is where it's going to be landing. So let's say it's going to be landing here. Let's say this is the landing pad. Okay, this is the landing pad, and the distance from the ground distance from the landing pad is 11 kilometers. So this side is 11 kilometers. Okay, so now this is the line of sight. This is the horizontal view, line of sight. This is line of sight. Okay, and because he said this is an angle of depression, we are dealing with angle of depression. So like I said, this side is going to be the angle of depression, right? So let's call this place alpha. So now that this is the angle of alpha, this side will be equals to alpha 2. And the reason why I said it is because these are alternate angles. You know, alternate angles that are side by side are always equal to each other. That one will be discussed when we are talking about angles, complementary angles, supplementary angles. This is an alternate angle. An alternate angle form like letter Z, right? So these angles are equal to. So this is alpha now. So now we have the opposite side and we have the adjacent side. But this one says 500 meters. So now I want to draw it better now. Let me draw it by the side here. So I'm going to draw it here down a little bit. So since we are given 500 meters, let's convert 500 meters to kilometers. So 1000 meters is equal to 1 kilometer. So therefore 500 meters will be 0.5 kilometers, right? And this is 11 kilometers. So this is alpha. So now, since we are given the opposite and the adjacent, we are going to use tan. Alpha is equals to 0.5 divided by 11. So if we do 0.5 by 11, that will give us 0.0455. Okay, so let's find arctan of 0.0455. So that should give us 2.60 degrees. Okay, so that is the angle of depression for this part of the flight. So the last question I'm going to be explaining is this. It says a boat sails 12 kilometers east, then changes direction and sails 5 kilometers north. Okay, so if we are drawing in bearing, when we are drawing the 4 cardinal points on the earth, north, south, east, and west, we have it like this. This is north, this is south, this is west, this is east, right? So the boat sails 12 kilometers north, 12 kilometers east, sorry. So this is 12 kilometers, right? And then it changes direction and sails 5 kilometers north. Okay, so this side is 5 kilometers. So now it says find the straight line distance from the starting point. Okay, so now we are going to find the connection between the north and the east. The north, we are looking for the northeast. Okay, so now in this case, we are going to use Pythagoras theorem. So now let me draw it out so that we can see it clearly. So when we draw it out like this, we have this place to be 5 kilometers, 12 kilometers, and we are looking for x. Okay, so by Pythagoras theorem, we have that hypotenuse squared is equals to opposite squared plus adjacent squared. So that be x squared is equals to 5 squared plus 12 squared. Okay, so x squared is equals to 25 plus 144. Okay, so x squared, we give 25 plus 144 is equals to 169. Okay, so when we find the square root of 169, we'll get 13 kilometers. Okay, so that's the straight line distance from the starting point. So now we have to find the direction of the boat from the starting point. Okay, so now we are given since from the beginning we are given the hypotenuse, we're given the opposite and the adjacent, right? So in this case it's going to be tan theta. So tan theta will be equals to 5 over 12, right? So theta is equals to 5 divided by 12 will give us 0.4167. So that theta is equals to arctan 0.4167. Okay, so theta will give us 22.6 degrees. Okay, it says so we can say that the boat is 13 kilometers at 22.6 degree north of east. Okay, so I'll probably still do more examples on word problems on trigonometry, and I'm going to be talking about trigonometry identities in the next video. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.